It's all coming together now. Not only are our power woes increasingly dissipating, but we're about to add an entirely new form of fuel cell to the mix. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series, where we have a lot of deuterium. And I kind of feel like it's past time to do something with all of it. So, let's do something with all of it. We have the recipe, and have had for a while, for Deuterium fuel rods. This requires titanium alloy, 20 deuterium, and 1 supermagnetic ring. Supermagnetic ring. Yes, that's the word. In order to produce them. So they're not the cheapest recipe. Power is continuing to improve. Oh, interesting. It actually dropped back down below 300. I wonder if that's because some of the... We might just be at a point where some of the ray receivers that are on the equator stopped receiving. I mean, we still have a 100 megawatt surplus, but still. That's surprising. Anyway, where was I? We have to figure out how to get those resources over to the deuterium, or we need to figure out how to get the deuterium over to where we will be building the rest of the things. So we have over here these titanium alloy bars, and they're really just kind of sitting here. They're being produced for... Let's see. Where are they being used? Let's take a look. Are they being... Wait. So you're telling me you're just building these... Oh, I see what I did. Yeah, because I haven't had any reason to mass produce things that require these yet, I just have these sitting here waiting to have their inventory pulled. I never built a storage for these. That's kind of annoying, though, because I wish I would have built a storage. So let's do that first. Just a small oversight on my part. So we'll build to about there. Nope, I didn't say there. There we go. And then we'll have a proper storage for these. Oh, I'm going to need some iron ingots first. Not a problem. Let me go ahead and at least get these down. One of the reasons I want to do this is I want all of my production buildings that can produce things. We might be running out of coal. Need to keep an eye on that. Not going to fix it right now, but I'll keep an eye on that. I want all of my production buildings that can produce things to be doing so. So, let's see. Yeah, that's right. I need storage. So, iron ingots probably already got... I picked up lots of stone bricks specifically in the last episode, so... Do I have additional... No, I don't. Alright, let me grab some more of these while I can. One thing you're going to notice as I begin to build more and more advanced fuel cells is that I'm just going to have more and more power at my disposal, and it's going to be harder and harder for me to actually drain Icarus's battery, which is one of the most satisfying upgrades you can get, because in the beginning of the game, it's so easy to run out of fuel. Not only do you run out of fuel, but you run out of energy, which are two separate things, because the fuel generates the energy, you need the fuel in Icarus to keep generating the energy, but also the battery can only run for so long when you're hovering, for example. But eventually, I mean, I'm already at a point where... Hang on. See? I can just hover here right now, because the fuel cells that I'm using are strong enough to keep my battery fully charged while I'm hovering. And I'm not even at the deuterium fuel rods yet. I'm getting those built right now as we speak. Or about to get them built. So, yeah. It's exciting. It's a small thing. It might seem like a small thing, but it is so satisfying. Alright, let's grab some more bricks off the line. I'm not going to wait for the 100 this time, because I don't need to explain the mechanic a second time, but you know what I'm doing. I did this in the previous episode. Just grabbing a few off the line. Oh. There we go. And now I can build... Yeah. It's 10 storage, but I'll go ahead and just build all 10 of them. And now we have these producing regularly. Slowly, but regularly. I don't know if I need that much. I'll just do too high, as a matter of fact, and then we'll have some extra storages in inventory. So, that's one resource. I need also supermagnetic rings. So these are being produced over here, and let's see where they're currently terminating. They are put onto this. I remember I remember when I built these, like, oh, have fun figuring out your output situation for those. Yeah, that's a fun one. We made it work, though. It's okay. All right, so this is the current terminus. Is there an easy way out? Not really. I think what I'm going to have to do... put you there, and that should completely... Yeah, it doesn't leave anything unpowered. Again, something that we're going to be getting access to very soon. Nice. Research speed level 1 has been finished. Something we're going to be getting access to very soon is a building that allows us to spread power around much more broadly than our current options do. So I'm excited about that. Also, let me temporarily, because this is kind of getting in the way, I'm going to temporarily delete that, but it's just so that I can have this line raised the way I need it to be. Because we're going to bring these around to another location. I could also, there's an argument to be made for flying them, because I'm getting to the point where, as I've said, I tend to rely on spaghetti, because I not spaghetti in the messy sense, but just building lines to move resources. But once things get really complicated and inconvenient, one of the reasons that I think these logistics bots are so handy is they allow you to just say, F it, I don't care, I just want to have these resources work, please. And that's it. Alright, so that solves that problem. And yeah, here's what I'll do. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to stick with spaghetti for now. One of the beauties of Dyson Sphere Program is that you can solve these various engineering questions in different ways. If you're going for maximum efficiency, you wouldn't necessarily use some of the choices that I'm making right now and have made in the past, but you have different ways of doing things where you don't have to feel badly. As long as it works, you can be happy as a player. Which is just a beautiful thing that is not always the case in games like this. Yeah, we want to go to about there. I'm keeping an eye on that storage that I've built in the distance. So this is the second of the 2 resources we need, and certainly one of the more complex resources that we need. And I'll probably expand the storage for these so that their surplus can build up as necessary. Okay, and I want to have this line come down like so. I'm going to extend it a bit. I'm not going to build this whole thing, but I want the line that I'm building to be straight, and in order to get that straight... Yep. Perfect. I needed to expand it a bit, because it's all about building a straight point from a grid that's down here to a grid that's up here that's in a different configuration. So in order to make the line somewhat parallel, it's not perfectly parallel. That's an improvement. All right, so the final resource is deuterium itself. So that is over here. So it seems like what I may need to do... Yeah, you know what? I've come this far. Why don't I just, rather than bringing them this direction, why don't I just continue to move this line this way? And we will have to move it over 1, that's fine. And then here we can have it climb, just kidding. It's a little bit too close. You can have it climb over these power plants directly. And then right about here, it should be able to start coming down. Perfect. Perfect. There we go. All right, so I'll bring it to right here for now until we can also get the titanium moved over. And we will have them side by side. So that there's a little bit of visual uniformity and satisfaction there. Ooh, you know what I can do? I can have these come around this way. And then here... Look at that. So now they will output to here. And what I have to do... If you want to match the slope of a line that you are building adjacent to, you have to generally start... You have to stop the line that's not sloped, like a spot shorter than you would think. Notice this is the actual matching. So I had to start it not where the slope begins, but one spot on the belt farther back. Because notice the placeholder here. If you look at the very first two dots, it always places an additional one as you start the slope at the same level as the first one. So those first two are on the same level, and then it starts to climb. That's why you have to go one back, because that's just part of the way Dyson Sphere builds these things. And ironically, the slope is still not perfectly parallel. I wonder what's different about these. Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? I didn't notice it's right on a shift in the latitude configuration. That's why. Okay. We're still building them parallel, but they don't look parallel because of that difference. So same thing. I'm going to start here and then come down. All right, nice. So now we have more maximum core. Look at that. Look at our battery at the bottom. It's got so much room now. Beautiful. Okay, so that's pretty close to parallel. I like it. So now, I'm going to have just a couple of these. Can I just build? Yeah, awesome. I was really hoping I had the resources just sitting in my inventory, and I totally do. It's fine. So there's that. And now for the first time, I'm queuing up Deuterium fuel rods. This is way late. I could have had these produced a long time ago, but we've been solving various resource issues. So it's taken a minute. All right, and now, let's see the fastest way to do this. I think, honestly, like, it may just work to... Yeah, I see what I'm going to do here. I think this will work. Given the spacing of this line. Perfect. Look at that. You can still have them parallel. Have that visual satisfaction. See, there's something about that to me that even though you can use the bots to not have as many lines running everywhere, maybe it's just the classic Dyson Sphere Program player in me that, you know, before the logistics bots existed, this is the only option we had. But I do think that there's a certain quality to making things kind of come together using the lines. There's always going to be the efficiency question, but again, you can have it be kind of efficient enough, and that's what matters. Okay, so I think I just want to have the fuel rods literally right here. Can I do that? Yep, perfect. We're going to have a tower of 2 of them. We will eventually have power plants that these will be fed to as well, but for now, I just want them to be stored. And there we go. Our first almost 20, there we go. Deuterium fuel rods. Let's take a look at the polar ray receivers and see how they're doing now. Notice how the research speed is faster now after that upgrade. 14.8 megawatts, and we're not even at 100% continuous receiving yet. Power is at 340 megawatts total, which is fantastic. Okay, so with those issues kind of addressed, we've got Deuterium fuel rods being produced. We'll be able to grab some fairly soon and actually use them to power Icarus. But before we get excited about that, let's do a couple of things. first and foremost, let's empty out our inventory. I'm just going to use tab to drop off things at various places. I'm not even really being choosy about this. I just assume I don't have any copper on me. Yeah, so the raw ore that I have in my inventory right now is, with the exception of this, there we go, not anything that I can put into my assemblers. But there are exceptions. But I'm just dropping off everything I can in order to empty out my inventory a little. Because I have so much extra stuff. And what you should be seeing at the moment, I'm not watching that closely because I'm just looking where I click, but what you should be seeing in my inventory right now is space slowly opening up as I continuously do this. Okay, it does seem like we have a coal shortage. Coal is no longer making it all the way down here, which I noticed that either earlier this episode. Yeah, it was earlier this episode. So we need to address that, don't we? Let's take a look. How am I doing on gatherers? I have plenty. All right. We have an additional input over here. Interesting that this much coal production is still not enough, but it makes sense because we've really increased the rate at which we are building energetic graphite. So let's see what other coal veins we can exploit. Yeah, we have one up here. So let's just do it. Let's see. There's one. There's two. And I might have to do a little bit of land filling here just to make this work. Oh, just kidding. I can't because I don't have enough. Let's go grab some, shall we? Oh, wait. Just kidding. I have plenty. I don't know what I'm talking about. I forget that that's a thing, but it's totally a thing, and I love it. Normally, you'd have to sigh exasperatedly and go back and get more, and now it's like, nope, my logistics bots already brought it to me. I just need to pull it out of the stacks. It's glorious. And now we have 2 more lines of inventory capacity and an additional, holy crap, words, logistics stack multiplier, speaking of the devil. So that's phenomenal. And that looks like it'll connect them. So now we just need... Oh, this will work almost perfectly. Let's see. There's that. There's that. There's that. Crossing a latitude line change there, so... a little bit of wonkiness. It's fine. And now, this will hopefully resolve the issue, but we'll just have to see. Alright, so... that is where we need to send the coal, actually. So... let's just put it right here on this line here. Right here on this line here. I suppose I can make that sentence worse by saying, right here on this here line here. But I won't. I'll just talk about it. Okay. And it looks like we might have to do some additional merging to make this work, or we can just... yeah, I do want to use a splitter. You don't have to use splitters for this. I see what I can do. Yeah, you totally don't, but I think in this case... it makes sense to do so. So we're going to temporarily stop a lot of coal input. It looks like there's a couple of resources I'm short on. It's steel that I'm short on, which makes a lot of sense given that I've started mass producing that titanium alloy. So we're going to need to expand steel production as well. That's a very normal thing to do at this point in just about any Dyson Sphere playthrough. Like, you're okay on steel until you're not. There's been a moment in every single one of my playthroughs where I've had to address, I mean, I guess every resource independently. Okay, and there we have our splitter. Nice. So we just made fuel more efficient as well. Glorious. Alright, so now let's see how that does. That might give the proliferator some additional work, but so far that hasn't been too big of a threat. So now we have coal flowing in quite nicely. What I really want to see is, in a moment, do we start to see the coal icon pop up here? Remember, that's a really great indicator that you're saturating. Bingo. So that's the entire end of the line that this coal is needed. And it's now fully saturating the line. Does it stay that way? Yes. Okay, so that situation has been resolved. And we're almost done with our research queue. That was fast. All right, what other resources are we almost out of? Because I noticed it was steel that we need to address. And then also energetic graphite. But the reason energetic graphite is short here is that we expanded storage down this way. So it's not that we're actually running short on energetic graphite, it's that this tower needed to fill up. So that's been taking a minute, but it's fine. Also, I'm going to reverse this yet again, because these are backed up, and as long as they're backed up, we're not getting as much as we can out of these refineries, and I don't like that. I might leave that off for now, because I feel like we're in a situation that is much more favorable for power. So maybe I'll return to this after it's had a chance to run for a moment, see where the shortages exist, and then correct reactively based on that, rather than proactively. In other words, I'll be lazy about it. But it'll work. It will work while we focus on other things. So I suppose it would be a good time... No, we'll queue up new research options at the beginning of the next video, I think, because we're... Nah, hang on, there's more that I can do. I can at least pick a few more things. No need to overthink. Ooh. Gravity matrices. I had to remember what the green ones were called. Okay. Additional 3 construction drones? Yes, please. Yes, please. Solar sail life? Yep. Cargo stacking? Yes, that will help. Sorter Mark III cargo stacking? That will help with literally everything. Distribution range? Yup. Logistic carrier engine? Yup. Logistics carrier capacity? Yup. Vanes utilization? Yup. So these are... None of these are technologies in terms of, like, the next... Like, moving towards warp. These are all things that will help us be more efficient with resource production and help the base run more effectively, which we need it to if we want to continue to move towards the highest level of advancement technologically. So the current technology we're running is using all 4 of our cubes. So this is going to see the base at maximum capacity. Why is consumption demand so low, though? I mentioned expanding storage on... Where are they? On these. Actually, it doesn't seem that I have storage set up for these, do I? No, I don't. Interesting. So let's set up a buffer. I can put one... It's a little bit far from the production facility, but I'm okay with it. We're going to put it right here. Just a 2-story splitter like that. Reconnect the line so it's completely unbroken, but now, check this out. Boom. Now we've got a buffer built into that line, and we won't have as many issues with that. Let's take a look at our steel situation. At least we're not encountering a shortage of iron ingots. It looks like we might be slowly losing them. But overall, we're okay. So I'm going to dump some steel into these containers. Just so that the line can empty out. And it's gone. That's it. It's already gone. So, hang on. We have more work to do. It's fairly easily resolved here. Alright, so this is a steel line. I don't love that. I don't love that very much at all. I think what I'd rather do... Yep, we're starting to get to a situation where I'm starting to think about logistics bots for this specifically. So, yeah, here's what I'm going to do. Rather than have this line bring steel over here for the production of the titanium, we will instead build... Those of you who've been waiting for me to use logistics bots more are going to be very happy with what I'm about to do. Let's see. Let's build a storage here. Have it cross like so. Have it intersect with the line there. This will eventually be the only line, or very shortly it will be the only line. And then we'll have a storage... just 2 of them is fine. Set that up. And now we'll queue those up, and I don't want you to provide and collect from me. I just want you to distribute. All right, so you're going to request from other distributors. And you're going to request specifically steel. And it says it's not connected to the power system, which is just incredibly rude for me not to do that. I mean, it's just thoughtless. Okay, so now that that's done, I can completely delete this line. Oh wait, just kidding. Don't want to completely delete it yet. I need to disconnect. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we got those conveyor belts back. Just 60 back. For a second I was like, that was 1,245 conveyor belts? What? No, it was not. It definitely was not. For the record, that did not happen. Alright, so what this is allowing me to do, we're going to have steel being sent around via bot. And there's that. I want you to distribute to other distributors. One available route, and we should now see bots transporting that good back and forth, I would hope. Oh, currently there's not a lot of steel to send around, so I guess what we'll do makes sense. Okay, so I'm being somewhat mindful of this because an increase in steel production is going to increase... Yeah, we're going to need to increase the iron ingot production first, just to safeguard that resource from a shortage. Alright, so we'll have to rebuild that somewhere else in a moment. Actually, you know what? I can build it right there. 1, 2. Oh, crap. I'm just going to remove the sorter previews. There we go. Pull from there. Drop onto there. This will absolutely help, but now we definitely need... So what's the best way to do this? Because, I mean, the space where I built those is kind of where I was thinking about building the additional steel smelters. So the question is... I mean, one thing I could do It's not very uniform, and part of me hates it for that, but I'm going to do it anyway. So there's an additional copper producer, because we have more than enough copper at the moment. And I can even delete, because I have so much excess copper at the moment, I can probably get away with deleting 2 of them. So now, well, that might give me space for 3 more. Let's try it. Nope, just 2 more. I was a little bit overexcited. Although, I could potentially delete... Yeah, we probably... There's most likely an opportunity just to reposition what I'm doing with my copper in order to make more room for the steel smelting apparatus. But what I want to happen right now is I just want this... Let's follow this line down and see how this is doing. So we have steel going to the production of this. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, because this is more than I need. I only need like a few thousand at a time. So I'm going to say stop producing completely. I want steel to back up. So we can already see this backing up, completely filling up the line because the storage is set to capacity. So what's going to start to happen now is that these will have all that they can possibly build, and this line will start backing up with steel. It's already starting to back up. And as that line fully backs up, the storage will start backing up, and then you'll see more bots flying back and forth, transporting steel to the production of Deuterium fuel rods, which, by the way, we can totally go ahead and grab. Where are they? Holy crap. Over here. Oh my god, so many. All right. And with that, we have our very first deuterium-fueled Icarus. Not, well, they're still finishing a hydrogen fuel rod. How are we looking over here? Before I end the episode, let's take a quick look in this direction. Oh, interesting. Are you not getting oil? You're not getting oil. Ah, okay. Well, we will have to once again increase our oil production at the beginning of the next episode. But for now, I will stop this one here. And we will proceed towards that fix and additional research progress, like lots of additional research progress in the coming episodes as we move ever closer to warping outside of our system and exploring things like Cypha Borealis, which has fire ice, kimberlite ore, and optical grading crystal. Theta Hydri, which has fire ice, fractal silicon, and optical grading crystal. And then further out we have Merope, which I can't see anything because it's too far away, damn it. But we're starting to be able to see different resource availabilities in stars that are somewhat close to us. Most of the stars close to us are fairly small, dim stars, which is interesting. We won't get to really bright or interesting stars until we have the ability to travel farther. Well, we can travel as far as we want, but we can't see them right now because we don't have the ability to see that far. But that technology is probably right around the corner too. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes are coming out every day at noon US Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.